Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons from BrandonSimmons.biz, and this is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. So, this week, the Texans will be going on the road to take on the New England Patriots for the divisional round matchup. And this is after both teams are coming off a wild card matchup where their defenses actually carried them to a win. So, I'm going to get into all that on what the Texans got to do to get a win in that game. First, I'm gonna do a quick game recap. And when I say quick, I mean quick because I've been having a little bit of the sniffles lately. So just want to get this get this on out the way. Um, so big game recap. First off, defense did their thing as usual. Um, 4 sacks, one and a half of those going to Sheldon Rankins, 8 tackles for loss, two of those going for Jalen Petrie. Petrie was just a menace across the line of scrimmage and in that backfield. That's really what kind of stood out to me in this game. Um, there were plays where he didn't actually get credited for the tackle, but he would jump into the backfield and he would actually hit the opponent and it would slow him down and it would set them up to get tackled in the backfield. So it was definitely an amazing effort by this defense. In addition to the tackles for loss, we had a couple of defensive scores, particularly in the fourth quarter. So Will Anderson, he forced a fumble, and Rankins actually recovered it for a touchdown. And then you had Caleb Bullock. He gets the 51-yard pick six, um, and that just kind of puts the game away at that point. And so really just a valiant effort by this defense, a strong effort as they have been impressive all year. The offense, um, the offense, man, it's kind of been the same storyline with them. So, um, in this particular game, the offense, they'll mess up, they'll have some issues, and then eventually they'll figure it out and win the game. For CJ Stroud, he had 3 turnovers in this game, 2 fumbles that looked just super careless. The way he just lost them. The interception, I believe that was in the first half when he threw that pick. And so, yeah, it was just like careless. Um, yeah, it was just careless football play on his end, and we're not even going to get into um, the fumbles or the bad snaps. Like at least 3 of those, 5 or 3 of those, whatever. But too many of them, in my opinion. So um, it was just a bad outing for that O line, considering what's happening with those snaps, particularly Jake Andrews. So hopefully they'll clean that up. Now, the crazy thing about that is that there were all these fumbles and turnovers from the offense, but the offense has some real bright spots as well. So you had Nico Collins go down in this game. Mm. Yeah, so Nico Collins went down in this game out due to a concussion, and so you had Christian Kirk kind of step up. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith, man. But Christian Kirk stepped up. Um, he had 8 catches for 144 yards in this game. Woody Marks, he had 19 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown. So with Marks, he didn't have 100 yards all year. A lot of the games he's been turning in yardage totals are like rushing totals are like 71, 67, things like that. So for him to actually like really come around and get that really cross that century mark, especially in a game like this. That's really saying something and speaking to how much the team just really wanted that game, really wants to win. And I have to shout out Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb had some pretty good yards total as well. He actually on that 90-something yard drive in the first half, he actually got fed the ball 3 times, and I think all three or at least 2 of the 3 went for like first downs, or they were sizable chunks. So just good for him, like just stepping up and really just kind of providing another punch in that run game for this offense. So my big takeaway from this game is pretty much the defense is still the defense, offense is still the offense. But the thing about that is the offense, um, they have to improve on finding solutions early. You know what I'm saying? Like just just three turnovers is not ideal to in winning playoff games. You have to be better than that. Those mishandled snaps, you have to be way better than that because that could have went a whole different way. You know what I'm saying? The score could have been reversed. Instead of 30-6 Texans, you might be looking at 30-6 Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I'm saying? So definitely they need to clean that up before this game, for this next game. So injury report, Nico. The biggest injury report news right now. He's still in concussion protocol. It seems. I think he was supposed to. Um, I think he was supposed to show up at a practice open to the media or something like that. But he didn't show up, so it's leading a lot of people to believe that he won't be in this weekend. So we still got Christian Kirk, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. We still got those guys, Xavier Hutchinson, and in addition to them, in addition to the wide receiver group, is Dalton Schultz out there. Woody Marks, hopefully he has some more momentum, as well as Nick Chubb. Hopefully those guys have some more in the tank to get this offense going. So with that being said, the Texans back on the road, taking on the New England Patriots in the divisional round. Both teams coming off of wild card wins. Um, both teams coming off of wild card wins where they are actually where they actually were, led to the wins by their defense. And so it's gonna be an interesting game because even the Patriots, kind of had a similar they kind of had a similar faulty offensive game. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really, the score is like 16-3, I believe the final score, but they didn't really score till late themselves. You know what I'm saying? To really just pull away. So it's gonna be pretty much two teams coming off a same and similar result, and it's gonna be real interesting to see like just what kind of gives between these two squads. So here's a couple things that the Texans can do to make sure that they are that squad. So number one, protect the football. Those turnovers were unnecessary, completely unnecessary. As I mentioned, when Stroud made those two fumbles, it looked like he was just carelessly, letting them go. You know what I'm saying? And I get it in that situation. You're in the pocket. He was probably thinking that, he's trying to throw it and all this other stuff. But I mean, sometimes you just got to have a little bit more pocket awareness, have a little bit more quicker pocket awareness, and realize that, things about to end really, really bad. So, just don't have those unnecessary turnovers. Another way to do that is get the running game to come back. You know what I'm saying? The running game's coming alive these past couple weeks, heading into this playoff game. Um, get Woody Marks the ball again, feed Nick Chubb again. You can keep you can get these two guys going and start it. You know what I'm saying? Having these extended drives, like you did in the second quarter of this Steelers game, and so just get these guys going, uh, get them moving, and everything like that. Get them moving and everything, and just what I'm saying, really just extended drives on this Patriots team. Uh, Number two, control that line of scrimmage. So defensively, they Texans have to be winning at the line of scrimmage like all the time. It's This defensive line has been proven to be something. Togiai, he's been making some plays. Rankin's been making some plays. Autry, hopefully he's healthy and available this week. Um, excuse me. So yeah, Autry, hopefully he's healthy and available this week. Um, Anderson, Hunter, always destroying something. So control that line of scrimmage. They had 8 tackles for loss, and it wasn't just Petrie out there. roaming the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? They had I told you to a toe Henry T was out there um making plays in the backfield. Will Anderson, he made a play in the backfield that caused a fumble and had Rankins return that for a touchdown. So um, just continue to that defensive line needs to continue to dominate that line of scrimmage. Same thing for the O line too. Dominate that line of scrimmage, open up these holes to let the running backs run through. Number three, take away Stephon Diggs. Look, man, Stephon Diggs has had a tremendous year. Um, he's had the year we were hoping he would have with us last year, but um, obviously that was not the case, and unfortunately that was not the case. But now he is having that year with Drake May. This is Drake May's security blanket. I would take him away, force those other receivers, force May to find the other receivers to make plays for him, and that's probably just going to keep him upright in the pocket. As long as he can, you know what I'm saying? And the longer you got him in the pocket, the bigger the target he becomes to sack. So just take away Stephon Diggs and see what you can get out. See what kind of coverage sacks you can get out of the strategy. Um, Fourth and final thing, just let the experience flow. So look, this is a third straight year CJ Stroud and D'Amico Ryans have been in the playoffs together. So it's not like with Drake May and Mike Vrabel. Vrabel came in excuse me. Vrabel came in this year. Um, you know what I'm saying? Done a great job leading this Patriots team to where they are. But he doesn't have that familiarity with May in the postseason. May doesn't even have that familiarity with the postseason. You know what I'm saying? CJ Stroud has been here all 3 years of his career. You know, so he has a little bit more for a little bit more familiarity, has a little bit more postseason burn on his resume. So he's not really going to be shook. If anything, he's been part of those. He's been bounced out of the division round his first 2 years. So obviously he's going to start picking up on what he can do to avoid that. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I feel like it's going to go. And that's where I feel like the Texans had the advantage in the experience with D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud. Now, don't get me wrong. Vrabel's been a coach longer than D'Amico, of course. And he's been in um, quite a few playoff battles. Um, but definitely, D'Amico and Stroud have been in this thing like locked in together consecutively, and I think that's going to be the difference. That continuity, that familiarity, that consistency with D'Amico and Stroud. That's going to be the big difference in this game. So, um, just to go back over it, number one, the Texans need to protect the football. No unnecessary turnovers. Get the running game to come back alive and get you some momentum. Feed off the momentum from that running game from the wild card win. Control the line of scrimmage on both sides, offensive and defensive. Defense, defensive line need to control that line of scrimmage, dominate. Send Jalen Petrie back over there because he will tear somebody up in that backfield. Um, but definitely dominate on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Take away step number three. Take away Stephon Diggs. He's been a security blanket for Drake May. So force the other receivers to kind of make big plays. Yeah, force them to just make big plays, or force May to take his time to find them to make those plays, and try to get a coverage sack off of that. And fourth and final thing, just let the experience flow. D'Amico and Stroud have been in this thing 3 straight years, so let that continuity, that consistency, that familiarity, just let that flow and just build off of that. Um, Texans do that. They should be able to pull off a win in this game. So that's all I got for y'all this week. Hopefully you didn't catch no germs from this. If you're watching this on Facebook, facebook.com/BrandonBlog, like my video, share my video to your news feed, like my page as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe. Excuse me. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Share this video with whomever and wherever. So I'm Brandon Simmons. BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla black.